And welcome back to another Primus tutorial here. So we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be breaking down kind of what needs to be assessed in the productions and what needs to be practiced. Now, I will say this: everything is dedication, man. If you're gonna be taking a break and then go back another week, like I've talked about this before, you're not really going to get anywhere. The most important thing to take away from this session here is practice, practice, practice. If you don't have the interest, you just feel like it's a hobby thing, then that's all on you, man. I do music because I love music, and before the whole rhythms and sales and all that stuff, it's still the love of music. I was putting out music before I started to make a little bit of money, not a whole lot of money. So let's listen to what you got, and I have a rhythm already pre-made underneath it, so I'm gonna explain each section here so I don't take up too much time. Let's play what you have here, so go ahead and play that. Now, pretty much you have the arrangement on lock. I can hear the bass. I'm not going to talk too much about low end. I think there's a little bit too much, but the bass is correct. Now I'm hearing some odd notes that don't belong in there, so we're gonna start off with that. Um, so basically, this is what you're playing here. Let me see if I can play that in the D key here. And what I'm gonna do, let me see if I can slightly zoom a little bit on the camera here. Like I said, it's all about practice and getting your finger into be in the right place. Let's pull the camera a little bit, maybe about there. So you're playing. Let's see if I can tilt it slightly too. So that's pretty much what you're playing, right? If we go back to the track here. That note that has the this here. Do I have the keyboard on? This note right here. That does not belong there. You're playing that, and it's a little bit awkward. What you want to do is play notes that is in the beginning chord of the arrangement, the first chord of the arrangement. You can play. You can do. Any one of these can work. Play back. The reason why I'm saying not to use these notes here, because that is not blending with the arrangement of the song. If you were to want to play melody notes, I'm not sure your philosophy on melody notes, but if you want to play that, you would have to do something like this. You will have to play each melody in a chord, which kind of doesn't make sense. That's not real to the way soca is going. This kind of arrangement here is more like a horn section, like the calypso days. What we're touching here is modern soca playing here. So play notes in the first chord. So for that reason, I rebuilt the track. So the next thing, listen to your arrangement. And you kind of made a little mistake. Whatever. Now listen to the version. Similar sound. I'll play it back. What's the difference between that and your one here? Playing the same chords. There's no movement in the bass line. So you're doing this. Keyboards mute again. Let's unmute that. This is what you're doing right here. Now, if you play the bass, the bass bouncing back is creating pulse. It's giving me the feel of there's movement happening on. It sounds like it's going a little bit faster too, but all I'm adding, rather than just playing this, I'm playing this. Which already makes it interesting here. So I'm gonna play that. There we go. So while I'm changing the chords, here, I am changing the inversions. For example, I'm playing in D here. So I go to A, but instead of the broad A, I'm adding this key here with the rest here. So I'm going, and then I'm going here. So by playing I can go crazy and do this. You see how more you're getting more vibe, more interest, more creativity happening with that. Play that back again. Now to compete with your bright track, I had to add some preamp here with the UAD. Compare that with yours. You see, like it sounds like something's missing in the gap. So that's why. Let's move on to sound number 2. Let's play this here. Here we go. Just making sure I'm still streaming here. Next thing. Layering. we need to layer this track and set a foundation, or what you call groove. Let me see if I can close my shutter speed a little bit more here. Yeah, so we need to create a foundation of groove. So what am I playing? I'm playing the D. Let's play over here. And then I'm going to the same A, but I'm using the second inversion here. And then I'm going here. I'm going here. So I'm playing the same D, but a different inversion here. And I'm playing less. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to play that by itself. Here we go. Now, this tone is coming from the M1. It has its own cross delay. Cross delay is giving it stereo chorus as well, giving it modulation and width. So if I play both together, and I'm adding UAD once again because the sound by itself is sounding quiet, so I'm adding preamp because it's the M1 retro board. Let's move on to this next sound right here. Now I call this kind of creating a foundational tone, reverb, and ensemble, or what you call a chorus, helps set depth for this. These sounds, there's no Patrice preset here, Jadel, you know, these, like, this sound is coming straight out of the M1. Like, I'm not doing anything to these controls. All I'm doing is on most of the sounds is adding preamp to give myself more volume and more apparent warmth and dynamics, because out of the workstation itself, just like through the true to the original, um, it's kind of quiet, based off the M1 board. So we need to add these sounds, these preamps. So I'm adding these notes, and like I said, the more I add stuff to keep in mind, the more I'm adding stuff, is the less I'm playing here. So if I play this here, I'm using the first chord within the arrangement here. So I go back to the keyboard here. Check this out. That's what I'm adding. The first chord in the arrangement, I'm using notes. I can play it anyway. I can do that if I want. Play the track. So, what do we learn here? We set the pulse. We set the foundation, which is this tone here. And we added another lead here. Play all three together. So, which brings us now to the rhythm section. Now, listening back to what you did here, You kind of did the tap tap tap. I'm gonna keep the kick constant here. I'm using battery here. I'm not doing too much, but just getting volume with the channel strip here. Might as well shave off a little bit of low end here. I'm using this sound here as a percussive tone. That's what I'm playing with the rhythm section. As opposed to the one you're playing like. Sometimes the slight changing is in, I'm not saying your rhythm is wrong, but the slight change in snare drum patterns, you know, kind of still makes the track sound slow. Now, this is a groovy soca, so what you played can work. Um, what I'm playing can work as well. So I'm using the hi-hats here. Very simple hi-hats notation. I've taught you these stuff before. Now, like I said, groovy soca is ridiculously easy to do, but you got to maintain the foundation of, like I said, the first thing you were doing wrong is playing notes that is not on the first chord. That's why it's already going south. So I'm playing this here. Play back. And I'm adding the toms from the M1 here once again. On top of that, I'm adding preamp and some low end here. You see, because I'm playing less on the second board, boom, 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 I'm not getting in the way or clouding the entire track, right? I'm taking these tracks to allow it to sound, um, you know, allow it to sound full without not getting in the way. Let's bring in another instance of battery here. So I'm using simple snare drum arrangement here. I'm not doing the same thing you did on your rhythm. I'm building what, like I said, any one of these drum patterns can work. The drum pattern is not the issue. I'm just giving you the difference in between both of these patterns here. One sounds a little bit faster, the other one sounds a little bit more slow, but they're in the same BPM. It's just the way how it's moving. So that's what I'm doing with that here. Let me go on another sound here. Bass line. I'm using a sub bass here. Now, coming up with bass line arrangements, most people will do but that's kind of boring. You want to play a what you call like a pause in between notes for a groovy. And you got to practice your fingering how to move these notes. The first one, then I can go to A and go to E, something similar to that. Or we can do the laser way. Then we'll play the E, F. I'll play it slow again. We'll go back to the D here. A, E, back to F. That can work too for this track. Let's bring in another sound here from the M1. Let's go back. Now, check this out. I'm now layering similar to what you did, because I felt like it needs to be layered. Combining this now with this one up here. Let's play both of them together. Here we go. Can you recognize the difference? One is playing there's a slight pause rather than doing this. I don't want this to be the pause. I just want it to be layering. Playback. Bring it down a little bit. Let's bring in another instrument. Here we go. Now this is an example of we've layered for the melody section. Now we're adding another lead for that melody. Let's see what I was using. I'm going to transform back to rendered audio here. Let me see if I can get the keyboard back. Control Z. Apparently I can. Whatever sound I was using, I don't remember, but this is the lead right here. So this right here. This is the same root chord, the first chord in arrangement, right? Right? You're going D, A, E minor, and back to F major. I'm not moving away from the first chord. So this is why I'm playing this lead. Playing less here. So it blends. Play back. Go back and play another sound here. Now this sound here, I found this by mistake. Surprisingly, it's called sub vocal bubble, but it's on the same key. And modern soca kind of have a little bit of delay vocal effects, so I'm just adding that every now and then to further create a vibe within the track. something every now and then, right? That's what I'm doing with that. I'm using battery for majority of the tracks here. Let's bring in another one here. Now this go back to soca formula here. Open hi hat. I've killed uh, rhythms to death on the show. I've taught you already how to create these kind of rhythms with open hi hats. Like I said, you got to be practicing um, your key playing, your sequencing. I brought that in when it hits the chorus. Why? Because it makes the track gets bigger. So further down the road, I added another sound here. Let's go back, which is a metallic sound here. So what I end up doing with this sound here, let me see here. I kind of tune it to the pitch of the key. It's playback. It's there, but it's more being felt than being heard. I have another sound here. This snare drum here, I needed a stronger one to layer with that. Which brings us to our last sound here. Now I'm using this tune from Dune here. I wanted something organic, so I'm playing the sound. Remember, the more I'm adding, the less I'm playing. Play it. That's all I'm doing. So if I were to play the whole track, let's go back again. Here we go. We stick to the formula. We created an intro, like like a verse. We went to the melody. We layered the tracks. Like I said, key thing to take away. What you are playing here, like I said, the drum is okay. You did a good thing with the percussions. I heard that. I heard the little dog barking on it. But that pop on it is what hurt my ears. The first chord in the arrangement. Don't do this. Do this. Or you can do. Or you can do. Or you can do. And all of these is gonna work. So you see how I spaced out my lead, then going boop. I'm doing my let me go to the sound. I'm giving a little bit of gap before it comes in. You want to spread them out. I wait until we that one bar pass, then we do a drum roll coming with the other synths. You might say, well, Ray, what do you do for the bass? I can locate my bass real quick. Um, Not much. Adding a little bit of preamp to it. Make sure you cut off a little bit of low end as a standard practice. Cut off some low end, maybe around 70. That's right. It's still gonna retain good low end because you have super big low end on the track, which is a little bit too bulky. Doesn't sound bad, but it's a little bit too bulky. So the main thing I want to take away from this session here, and I don't want it to take too long, but leads is developed in the first using the keys of the first chord in any of your soca arrangement. Play around with the leads. Don't navigate from that. Don't go to ear. Don't go to ear. The third chord, second chord is gonna sound off. Space out your sounds. I'm adding more sounds. I'm playing them less. Does that make sense? So it embodies around the groovy soca. So yeah, well that's what I wanted to share with you for this session. Uh, if you want to learn some more stuff like that, but like I said, the main thing I want you to do, man, is practice, practice, practice. If you don't have your heart and soul into it, man, it's just gonna be like in and off season for you. Like one week I feel like make a groovy, next week because look at what happened to you right now. Oh, rebound, and like, I can't get no inspiration. I try to build it. You don't want to be forcing yourself for what naturally can just flow. So you might say, I don't have a flow, Raven. How do I get the flow? Listen to some music. Sit down with your keyboard, man. Maybe you have a lot of things going through your mind that can contribute to that as well. You have to be at a safe place, a relaxed place to do this kind of stuff because it's not hard to do. But I'm gonna stop here. I didn't want the session to take too long. I'm just going over things that you need. You know how to build this kind of beat. So I'm not going to spend any more time on talking about what's happening. But the main thing, like I said, rewatch the video. I understand what I did with the layer. Study it. Put it in the back of your mind. Understand what I did with the lead. And anything I'm creating, second lead. Anything that's called lead. Put it that way. Find that in the notes of the first chord of your arrangement. If you want to layer synths, you see what I did. I played it slightly different. Think about that. So I'm going to stop there, man. I hope you enjoyed the video.